for now, I really want to talk about first topic I want to cover, which is something that is elusive for a good reason though too. I know you guys don't want to keep no expectations for some of these protocols. Totally reasonable. There's definitely a lot of founders in the ecosystem that do that for good reason. We want to create value here and all that stuff too. However, the biggest piece that I think is hard to put together for this, but is also one of the most exciting ones, as Cooley was talking about a second ago, is the buy and burn for these protocols. So, without giving expectations, without how can we understand the buy and burn first, just at a super simple level quickly, and then how do we even know it exists? Like, what is the proof of buy and burn for Perma-Bull?
Which one you want to take it? Ben, you want to take
it? I want Giff to explain what the buy and burn is and how this one's different than others. And then I'll go ahead if you guys want me to. I can pull up the scan.PulseChain to.
Oh, here. Let me. There's actually that's not as good as for this case. I'm gonna put it in the private chat.
Got it.
Otter scan is actually better for watching this.
Okay.
So I got you the link there, Max. So what makes this buy and burn different than most others? Well, for number one, it's one of the most aggressive buy and burns we've seen yet. Usually you'll see a buy and burn rate of, you look at PulseX, what does it come down to? It's like 0.03%. I can't remember. Maybe you could correct me on that, Max. On each transaction, what was it?
Oh, what, man?
It was a 0.3% fee, right? And then if you're talking about V2, then it's like the 0.03 of that 0.3.
Yeah, that's.
But if I can dip in there real quick and put a pin in what you're saying, that was the daddy concept of all this, right? The daddy. However, that's not bringing economic energy into the buy and burn to spin it up like a Dyson sphere. Because this is what the Perma-Bull is. It's actually a Dyson sphere wrapping around that economic energy and binding it into a hole.
Yeah, so it was a very high rate. That's basically my point. Is we were all like, being in the Hex community, we were all really stoked about PulseX because of the buy and burn. It's like, okay, there's a set amount of tokens, and then it can only be deflationary, right? Because as more volume runs through the protocol, you get more burn. So that was amazing. What makes our Perma-Bull tokenomics different is going to be the rate at which it burns, and it also directly affects the token that just came into existence, right? So in order to bring a token into existence, you have to attach yourself as a Perma-Bull. Even if you're just arbitraging price, even if you're not really a Perma-Bull, your funds make you a Perma-Bull. That's the only way you can actually mint the new token. So that kind of puts things in separation a little bit. Okay, let's look at this. So this is the buy and burn contract for PermaGIFF. Okay, so what this is showing you here is how much. First off, the balance is how much PLS is sitting in there ready to be used for the buy and burn. And if you scroll down, this is super cool because iBurn's launched. Look over in the right hand column there where it shows where the funds are coming from. You see it coming from both the PermaGIFF from minting PermaGIFF, and you see it coming from iBurn, from people minting iBurn. So it's getting fed by two protocols right now. So that's pretty sweet. Now, this buy and burn hasn't been run for a few days, right? So maybe there's some experimenting going on right there, right? That's all we can really assume. But I want you to pull up one more, and I'll just give you the direct link again, Max.
Cool. Is it okay if I share the links in the chat as well?
Of course. All right, so here comes the other one. This one is the iBurn. The iBurn buy and burn. Just refresh it. Refresh it. There we go.
Yay.
All right. So this
love our
one is going to be a little more informative if you're trying to track the actual execution of the buy and burn. So right now you see that we just had a buy and burn go through 2 minutes ago. And you can tell because the method has this, it's a hex decimal number under the method. Do you see where it's 0xFC0907B? This is a pathway for running through Pateas. So that's where that comes from. So go ahead and click on that transaction hash there. And you'll see it in action. So right here, if you look on the right, it's showing that looks like 15 million PLS was used in this buy and burn. And then you could scroll down a little bit, and it'll show you the routes of what it went through because it's using Pateas, right? Look at it's getting best order execution, hitting all these different pairs, different pools. And then at the bottom there, what do you see there? What's going to that 0 address? iBurn. So in that one transaction, 4,515 iBurn were destroyed. They were deleted. That's why you see the little line through the 0x, the 0x address right there. So that's the protocol working at full strength, doing everything it's supposed to be doing.
And you know what's really funny is I never really understood the difference in between sending to the dead address or the black hole or all the rest of that versus being able to actually delete it. It was wild when the GIFF explained this to me, because then I run my game design theory head and all the hamsters go out and they go run. And it was just wild, the difference between them. Because if you want to go to the deep dive we talked about before, we theoretically could burn other things if we wanted to, but we wanted to simulate sending to the dead address because not all tokens are built to burn. And so we can do both of our simulations at the same time. Remember, simulation, not speculation. This is why we're doing things in very onion peeled components that are very worthwhile before we make our next step.
How come nobody else is smiling? This stuff like gets me excited, man. Like watching this on chain, like this was like blowing my mind when I was first pulling it up. Because I'm like a first time founder. I'm still really wrapping my head around all this development on blockchain, and to actually like write this stuff out and then see it launch, see the launch through, and then see the first buy and burn get executed. And then to track the execution on chain and watch Pateas do its thing. And it's just, I'm sorry, the nerd in me just gets so excited on this stuff. It's so
I mean, after I start doing the Inception character, believe me, I've seen your face enough that I'm always smiling when I get to see you, my dear friend.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, this is like not Star Wars nerdy. This is like pocket protector nerdy, but like so cool at the same time.
Wow. So it's got, just sitting in here just for people listening too, we got almost 1 billion PLS sitting in the buy and burn.
Check that's Perma-GIFF. Now go check the iBurn. We didn't even look at that.
Wow, 2 billion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now
Wow.
I would like you to theorize, if you may, how much buy and burn is necessary to completely remove GIFF and PGIFF from existence versus what is there. That's an interesting thought bubble.
Oh, well, there's about 14 thought bubbles going on right now. Wow, that is an interesting one. Okay, so just while I'm trying to track this too, where can we see each time the buy and burn is run? Is there like a list of like the transactions that we can look at to see?
Right there, that method right there. You see that method right there? That's a buy and burn. You see, there's another one just before there. Just keep going down. You'll see all the buy and burns going in. Yep. And if you took the time, you could go on the Perma-GIFF buy and burn, go back 5-6 days, and you'll see the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so each one of these, so you basically filter by method.
Yep.
Find the method, look at the transaction, see at the end of the transaction it shows what's being burned, but and then where can we see what's being? Okay, so yeah, where can we see bought and burned? This is the
amount used. So we call that the source amount in our code. So that's called the source amount. And then because we're pinging Pateas and we're asking for a quote. Same thing when you're refreshing your browser on the front end, right? So we're just doing it on the just on the blockchain or on the back end. So we're pinging them and we're asking for a quote for the swap. And when they come back with the answer, as long as it fits our variables in our restraints, slippage, that sort of a thing, then it'll go ahead and execute. So then when it goes and executes, you can go through there and you can see all the times that it's buying iBurn from different pools. So that's why you see multiple different iBurn transactions in there. And then, but the most important thing is once that transaction is done, at the bottom there, when it shows the amount going to the burn, it doesn't send to the burn address, or it doesn't delete itself until after the transaction's done.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you the total amount of iBurn that was actually purchased. So you got amount in, amount out, and that's the most important thing right there.
I just still can't get over the fact that no one thought before GIFF here to run it through a DEX aggregator and not bottleneck yourself into one pool, but be able to run it across all pairs across the chain at the same time.
I think there's advantages. You could also make the point of, but if you're using the least efficient route, it's pumping the price even more. Right?
Yeah, but then someone's getting an arbitrage someone's getting an arbitrage opportunity where they've got an overpriced token that they can buy cheaper somewhere else, come back over and profit off the users.
And those are usually bots. So the bots are making the money or the difference. And so where does that value come from? It comes from our buy. So they've extracted value from our buy when that happens. So by doing
it, offsets our buy and burn capabilities.
I love it. See that? I mean, again, from outside perspective, like that's the first question. Well, you want least efficient to pump number up, like that's the native thought, right? That's but then you're like, oh yeah, what about the bots? What about
why don't you just remedy that instead of creating a leaky boat? Why don't you just remedy that by not having too thick a sell side wall after the Perma-Bull version goes live? We're on a surge. Electrify the beat. Gifford, where's the word? Feel free to ask any questions in the public Telegram room for those who want to dig deeper into this Perma-Bull ecosystem, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video useful, and click the bell icon for more content like this. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.